And I think this is important to know because I've been talking so much about muscle lately, but there's so much more to talk about. And I don't want to become the fitness person. I don't want to become the person that's just known for talking about muscle. I want to help you know how to do this properly with the best ROI for your effort. Because there's plenty of people who go to the gym who are considering themselves active, not necessarily even going to the gym, who are not doing all the right stuff. Okay, so I know this sounds completely backwards, but you don't actually build the muscle in the gym. The gym is where you give your body a reason to build muscle. It has to be challenged, right? But what happens afterwards determines how well your body responds. And this is really, really important to talk about. Because if you've been following me for a while now, you're like, okay, Lex, I get it. I need to build muscle. I'm going to go hit the gym. But if you're strength training, which I hope by now I've convinced you to do, and maybe you already are doing something, you need to understand what is your body actually asking for you to do, okay? So one, lifting weights is basically a message, okay? When you challenge your muscles with enough resistance, you're sending your body a signal that, well, listen, what we're currently doing isn't really enough. I'm just going to ask you to do a little bit more. So your body responds by initiating a process of repair and adaptation for the muscle tissue so that it's better prepared for the demands in the future. Okay, this is progression. This is how the muscle grows. It's called progressive overload. And this is why progressive overload matters. Because if 10 pounds becomes easy and you never increase that challenge to 12 pounds, to 15 pounds, your body has less reason to adapt, to keep adapting. So your body doesn't build muscle just because you own dumbbells. I hope you know that. Just a quick note, like there are so many people with so much equipment at home that is not getting used. I think like one of the huge businesses is like home gym equipment, and then it ends up being hangers. Let's not let your dumbbells be things you trip on or your gym equipment to be hangers, okay? Your body builds the muscle because you give it a reason to be challenged. Okay, so hopefully I have convinced you to do something, and now we're going to get into how to actually get the best ROI. 2, your workout is a stimulus, okay? The adaptation actually happens afterwards, okay? This is what I want you to remember. It's train, recover, adapt, okay? It's not train, and not pay attention to anything else. Recovery is an active part of muscle building. You have to challenge the system, yay, you're lifting dumbbells, but then your body needs time and resources to respond to this challenge. And then eventually, something that used to be hard becomes easier. Like I said, that's adaptation. So the goal is not to just survive workouts. The goal is to become a body for whom the workout is no longer difficult. That's getting stronger. And it's very important when it comes to your brain, when it comes to your bones, when it comes to your body, when it comes to your sanity. This is key, because just because you're doing something doesn't mean you're actually doing it right. Doesn't mean you're actually getting the best ROI. And that's so important because it's like the hardest thing to get started. I have quite a few people that are like, well, I'm walking, at least I'm doing something. Walking, great. Like it's better than nothing. But for one, even with walking, there's adaptation. So the first time you went walking, maybe a mile was like, wow, like a lot. But now maybe you walk that mile and you're doing it quicker and there's no more challenge. This is not enough. This is why at some point you got to pick up those damn dumbbells, okay? 3, here's something that most women don't realize. Muscle building stays elevated after the workout, okay? So let's break it down to a little bit of science and then I'll explain it. So resistance exercise stimulates muscle protein synthesis, okay? In this process, your body uses to build the new muscle protein, okay? This response can be elevated roughly 24 to 48 hours afterwards, although the timing varies based on how you train, based on your nutrition, based on your sleep. So after you leave the gym, you're not done with the project. Okay, your 45-minute workout, your 30-minute workout, your hour workout, there's no need to train for an hour, started a construction job, and it continues way after you go home. This is why the next 23 hours, because let's say you were at the gym or working out at home for 30 minutes, so 23 and a half hours, this is why they really, really matter, okay? For now your body needs the building materials. This is really, really important. You can't build a house just because an architect delivered the plans. Okay, you need materials. Muscle needs amino acids, which means protein. And this is why I've been beating the protein drum too. Okay, you've created a fantastic training stimulus, or maybe you're about to. But if you're chronically under eating your protein, this is making everything so much harder. Okay, you gave your body the order, and now it's to give it materials to create what you wanted to create. Okay, number 5, materials alone are not enough. Okay, the construction crew needs time, and this is where sleep comes in. Okay, this is where I want you to really hear me. Here's where women screw this up. They train, they start working out, they start eating protein because everybody's talking about protein and they heard the gym bro talk about it, so like at least yay. But then they still treat sleep like it's optional. No. You're not a light sleeper. You are not whatever you believe you are. You need quality sleep. Sleep is recovery environment. This is important for your brain. This is important for your muscle. This is important for every single cell of your body. Your brain is literally getting cleaned at night. Your body is getting literally repaired at night. During sleep, your body is totally perfectly coordinating tissue repair, metabolic regulation, immune function. If you don't want to get sickly, this is what's important. Hormonal processes involved in recovery. And research has found that sleep restriction can reduce and does drastically reduce muscle protein synthesis. So can you build a muscle in lack of sleep? Yes, but it's making it much harder and it's bringing you toward a burnout. Ask me how I know. I was running my fitness studio. I was competing in bodybuilding. I was doing so much. I was like, you'd think I had my nutrition on point. I didn't get sleep. It screwed up my whole body. You are putting in the work to stimulate muscle growth, but now it's potentially interfering with your body's ability to do the work that it needs to do because you're chronically shortchanging the recovery, which is that deep restorative sleep. Sleep isn't separate from your workout. It's a part of your program. How to optimize your brain, how to optimize your muscle, how to make it all work together. Please get sleep. And I talked to Sadia the other day when she interviewed me about this. And she even said, as someone who hasn't slept in a long time when her kid was born, you literally have a different experience in life when you sleep better. I kid you not, even your sensory information, the experience becomes different. Don't play with your sleep. Okay. The next part is what surprises a lot of people, and that's that growth hormone is what peaks during sleep. Okay, you always hear men have testosterone, it works in their favor. Well, we have something that works in our favor. That's human growth hormone, HGH. Growth hormone is involved in tissue repair and metabolism, and a major pulse typically occurs at night during sleep, particularly around deep sleep. Okay, by the way, that does not mean more sleep, you get unlimited growth hormone and giant muscles. Okay, I don't want you to go there and be like, oh, human growth hormone? That sounds like I'm going to be big and giant. No. But it demonstrates something important. Sleep is biologically active. You're not laying down doing nothing. You're allowing the time for your body and your brain to do what they're supposed to do, to repair, so you can function better the next day. So while your sleep is biologically active, your body, your brain are doing things. Okay? So you're not laying there doing nothing. Your body is running a full recovery process that you cannot perform consciously. It cannot happen unless you get deep restorative sleep. There is no sanity without proper sleep. So you can't hustle your way through that process. So get your sleep. Okay? Next, sleep deprivation changes more than recovery. Okay? Poor sleep also affects glucose regulation, your appetite. Your crazy cravings come on when you're sleep deprived because your poor body is just asking for some energy and it's just running to the quickest energy it can get, which is sugar. It affects your perceived effort during exercise. It affects your mood, your decision making. You want to make quick and right decisions? Sleep. It affects your motivation to train. It affects your motivation, period. So sleep can hit that muscle and your brain from different sides and affects your recovery and from the workout you had yesterday and the day before and your ability to perform tomorrow's workout. Same goes for your brain. It affects what you learned, everything that you learned and experienced, everything that you even emotionally experienced, and of course mentally, gets stored and processed in your brain at night. And then it cleanses itself and it helps you perform better tomorrow. That's way bigger deal than, oh, I need to sleep because, sleep gives me energy. It's your beauty sleep. Yeah, it's it's beauty sleep as well. You age slower, by the way, when you get your quality sleep. Okay? Now let's go back to training for a moment because I want you to know another thing. More soreness does not automatically mean more muscle. Okay? It's kind of, we're going to do like a little myth buster here. Because some women judge workouts based on, am I sore? Okay? Soreness isn't necessarily your scoreboard. You can have a very productive workout without being wrecked for 3 days. There is a particular kind of sore that is a good sore. It's like, oh, I did something. But being incredibly sore doesn't prove that you build more muscle. It's actually very, very demotivating. So a better question is, am I progressing? Are you progressing? Can you lift more? Can you do one more rep? Can you control the weight better? Do you feel the muscle more? There's a whole thing called mind-muscle connection, okay? So the same, biceps curl you're doing, as you're doing it over a few weeks, your brain can use more muscle fibers from that biceps because of the mind-muscle connection. Okay, so progress is the evidence, not whether, sitting on the toilet tomorrow hurts, because we all know that feeling, and that's not a great feeling, and you don't need that. So we're not chasing soreness. We get a little sore, and that's good. This is why I have to slow people down in the beginning and say, we're doing less than you think you need to do, because the body tomorrow will tell you if you overdid it or not. And it's so much better to start slow and then progress than to start hard and then feel like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Okay? This is why recovery isn't being soft or slowing down or being lazy or not being productive. Recovery is a part of your training. Recovery is a part of working on your brain. Okay? Recovery has gotten wrapped up around the idea of slowing down, doing less, being gentle. No, you're recovering so that you adapt to a higher demand. And your brain and your muscle and your body does the exact same thing. Athletes understand this. You're deliberately creating the right amount of stress. This is why workouts need to be done right. You're deliberately working on recovery. And then you come back capable of handling more. And the same applies to your brain. You are literally training your brain when you're training your muscles. So recovery is not the opposite of performance. It is a part of your performance. And you know what I always say, 40s don't play, okay? You might have gotten away with skipping workouts or training hard or sleeping 5 hours or eating like crap at 25, all right? At 40s, your body is showing you the bills for all of that. That doesn't mean you're old, by the way. No. It means your standards have to change. If you're going to raise the standard of what demands you're requesting of your body, you have to raise the standard of what you give it to. Did you hear that? If you want to raise the standards of the demands you're having on your body and your brain, which you are, then you have to raise the standard of what you give it as well. It's give and take. It's input output. It's karma, if you wish. You got to give it protein. You got to give it sleep. You got to give it recovery. You got to challenge it again. Okay? Whether you're working out or not, there are a million right and wrong ways to do it. Resistance to the muscle is absolutely necessary. But I don't want you to think that, oh, I'm just going to work out and then that's it. My whole program is built around all of it. My focus is on your wellness, your brain, and your body. So resistance that we give it is a signal. Protein gives it the building materials. Recovery is the opportunity to grow and adapt. Sleep supports that recovery. This is why I have a 6-week challenge coming up where we go into detail around all of this. And I personally help you create a workout regimen that works for you. Fuel your body so you know how to feed your body and your brain. And help you sleep better so that you can become stronger. So you can become even more resilient. So you can feel amazing. Because when you feel amazing, really, one of those cliche things, anything is possible. Next video, I'm going to show you why more exercise can actually be the wrong answer when you're trying to build muscle, especially if your sleep is crap. So if you're someone who's like, all right, Alex, I'm hearing you, I'm listening to you, I really need to do something about this, but I don't know how to do this. I'm your girl. We're covering strength, we're covering fuel, we're covering sleep. You're going to wake up feeling rested, you're going to end up feeling stronger, you're going to end up being in charge of your life because you will be in charge of your body